Hi, welcome. This is yoga. So all we need today is a block and some type of strap or ring in case you need to help for connecting. We're gonna start with our legs comfortably seated position. I like to have my legs crossed, but some people want to have a leg out to the side. Go ahead and straighten up through your spine, lengthening as you draw your shoulders down. Start swaying around. Your hands can be comfortably onto your lap, and just focus on lengthening through the spine as you ground in through your seat bones. Just breathe. Notice your breath. Imagine you have an invisible string just pulling you around and you're still grounded into the seat. And then when you're ready, just go the opposite way. Circle the other way. Good. And coming back to center. Keep your hands onto your lap and then start looking one way and the other way. Move with your breath. Exhale, twist. Inhale, bring it back to center. And then exhale, twist again. Try to slow it down as you deepen through your breath. Good. Take about 2 more each way. And come back to center. Walk your hands out, and we're going to lift our hips up into a tabletop position. And then just start rounding and arcing. Move through your cat-cow. Make little movements along the way that feel good through the spine, remembering that your neck is part of your spine. Stretching out through the abdominal muscles. Try to breathe into that belly. And exhale into the back. And then next time you come into a rounded cat pose, sway around. Just make it feel nice and good. Move through the hips, through the shoulders. Keep drawing that belly upward. And then whenever you're ready, as you feel guided, just go the opposite direction. Keep that spine in towards your belly, round through the back, sway around. And come back to center. Take the top parts of your hands and place them onto the mat. So it's not the palm of our hand, it's just the top part of our hand. And then at your own comfort, lean back, stretching out into your forearms. And you can play around with this a little bit, leaning forward and then leaning back. We're not putting weight onto our hands, we're just stretching out through the forearms. So that top part of our hands are down, flat onto the mat, stretching out into the forearms. Good. We're preparing our wrists here, and then in a second, after this one, we're gonna bring our arms behind us, stretching out our shoulders, and then we'll come into some down dogs. Good, take about 2 more deep breaths in this. And then take those hands behind your back, come all the way up onto your knees, push your hips forward. And then just open up through the chest as you take your arms back. Here's where if you needed to, you could take that strap or ring to help connect your hands behind you. And we're gonna bend the elbows, bring the arms up behind you, and then lengthen. Incorporate that breath if you can, if you want to. Inhaling, pressing the chest and hips forward. And then exhale when you bend those elbows. And this is gonna prep us to stay into the pose in just a few. But I wanna kind of dynamically warm up into this. Good, 2 more. And the next time that chin is lifted and the hips are pressed forward, stay here and breathe. Keep pressing your hips forward, lengthen your arms up behind you. And if you wanted to, you could make head movements side to side or just keep that chin lifted, whatever feels good. 5 more deep breaths. On the exhalation, release your hands behind you, but we're gonna stay up. Wiggle those arms, wiggle the wrists. Reach one arm up as your other arm comes down onto the heel. Stretch that arm out and then switch it. We're going opposite sides. Reach right arm up to the left and vice versa. It's like a modified camel. We're moving with the breath, inhaling into that chest, exhale on the transition. And take your time, however long you want to stay. Here's where if you needed a block, you could put a block behind you and use your block and just alternate. If it's hard to touch your heels, put a block behind you and use your block. Keep going. Move with that breath. Good, we're gonna take about 2 more each way and then we're gonna stay on one side, hold and breathe. Good, and now whatever side that you end up on, stay here and breathe. 5 breaths, push your hips forward as you look behind you at that arm that's reaching behind you. 5 breaths. Keep pushing your hips forward. And on the exhalation, transition to the other side. Same thing, other side. Push those hips forward, breathe. On the exhalation, come back up. We're still on our knees. Extend one leg out to the side, whatever leg. We're gonna go both sides. The same knee that's on the ground, put that hand onto the ground. We're extending, same arm to leg. Now we're stretching out a little bit more through the side body. Keep pressing your hips forward. If you want to, float your leg off the ground or extend through the toes so you can really get a deep stretch. 5 more deep breaths. Okay, now we're gonna find a bind. Take this top leg, hold onto around your ankle, and we're gonna bring it up, lengthen back. Just crunch it up, lengthen back. If you need to, grab the strap or the ring to connect onto your foot, or if you can catch your foot or your ankle, go ahead and catch it and just bring it forward and back. About 3 more of these, and then we're just gonna stay back and stretch out. 2, good, 1 more. All right, stay here, look up to the ceiling, balance and breathe. If you're having a hard time balance, you could lay down onto your side. Try to push that leg out, hip forward, open up through that chest. 3 more deep breaths. And on the exhalation, take this leg, step it forward in front of you. Put your hips down, and we're gonna hold on to this leg. So whatever leg you have, your opposite arm is gonna hook onto that knee, and then we're just looking behind you. So you should feel the stretch through your IT band. On your side, you can use your other arm, the one that's not hooked onto your leg, to help deepen your stretch. Twist even your eyeballs. 5 deep breaths. Good, 1 more breath. All right, now if you feel good, you can stay here, or we're gonna take it just a little bit deeper. Place this leg out in front of you, and we're gonna come into a pigeon pose. Extend that back leg all the way back. So this is just deepening that stretch on that same area in the IT band. Take your time. Come low if you're comfortable with that. Take that back leg over across your body to the opposite side. Breathe here. You have 10 deep breaths, so just take your time. Good, 1 more deep breath. On the exhalation, place your hands under your shoulders, lift up into your high pigeon, curl your toe behind you, and then press it into a down dog. Walk your dog. Feel how that leg that you were just stretching out might feel a little bit different than your other side. And make sure you remember what side that you just did, because we're gonna do our other side. We're gonna take 10 deep breaths here in this down dog. If that's too much for you, you can always move it into either a child's pose or a cat-cow pose. Sometimes having your head lower than your heart for too long doesn't feel good, so make sure you feel good. Make sure this practice is good for you. Good, 5 more deep breaths. Take your time walking that dog. Stretch it out. Probably your leg that you just stretched out feels a little bit different than your other leg. And on your exhalation, lower those knees back down to the ground. Flatten your feet. We're going to come back into this onto your knees position with the chest and hips forward. Interlace those fingers back behind you, and we're going back into the arms stretching out, pressing those hips forward, and then bring the elbows and the arms up behind you. Straighten out the arms, press hips and chest forward, and then bend those elbows. Sometimes it takes a few times to really get into that stretch. Move with that breath. Good, 2 more rounds. And on your exhalation, we're gonna keep onto our knees and extend your other leg. Whatever leg you did before, do the other side. Go ahead and stretch out through your arm and your leg. If you want to, you can float your leg. Really focus on stretching out through your side body into your chest. Breathe here, 5 deep breaths. Stretch even your fingers and toes. And on your exhalation, take your leg and then binding, stretch out, try to lengthen that leg, that top leg out, resisting it away from you, but your arm, your hand is holding on to it. 5 deep breaths. And on your exhalation, lower your hips down. Take this top leg, cross it over, hook that opposite arm, and you're looking behind you. Use that hand to help deepen the stretch. Stretch even your eyeballs. Should be feeling IT right here. And remember, we're coming into our pigeon after this, but if you want to, if this feels good, what you're doing, you could just stay here instead of doing the pigeon. It's gonna be the same type of stretch. The pigeon just gets it a little bit deeper. Good, 1 more deep breath. On your exhalation, unwind toward this top leg. We're setting it down onto the mat or stay where you were at, if that was feeling good for you, and extend that back leg, finding your pigeon. If you wanted to, you could put a block under this hip. And I'm just gonna move away from my couch a little bit. And at your own comfort, you can lower down. Relax into this. This is a surrendering pose. Take your time, breathe into it. 10 deep breaths. You want to get a little bit deeper, maybe walk that long leg over to the opposite side. Stretch out your arms a little bit farther. We have 5 more deep breaths. And slowly start walking your hands under your shoulders, curl your toe behind you, lift up, and then press into down dog. You can walk your dog or just hold your down dog position. Really thinking about straightening out your back, widening your fingers and your toes, tucking that chin in towards your chest. You can close your eyes or keep a soft gaze. 10 breaths here. Pressing all of that weight back towards your heels. Flourishing open behind you. Good. 3 more deep breaths. And on your exhalation, step your right foot forward. Take your left foot out to a slight angle. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up into a warrior one position. Interlace those outer three fingers. Make sure that that right hip shifts back in line with the left hip. Tuck in your tailbone, open up through your shoulders. Stay here, breathe. Good. All right, we're gonna shift right into a warrior three pose. So if it's available for you, start bringing your arms forward. Put all of this weight onto your front foot and lift up your back leg. Try to look like one straight line. Flex the foot behind you. Point your hips downward. 5 breaths. On the exhalation, place both feet under your hips. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up. Step to the top of your mat. Breathe forward as those arms open up. And then exhale, swan dive down, hands under your shoulders. Step or jump into your plank line. Gaze forward, deep breath in. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, press up into a cobra or an up dog. Tuck those elbows in towards your ribs. Stay here a moment, stretch out those abdominal muscles. And then start looking behind you one way and the other way. Take your time, really stretch out those abdominals. This is gonna help tone you. We just did a lot of work before this class, the class before this, if you joined it. So now we're really stretching out, lengthening into those core abdominal muscles. Good, take about 2 more each way. And then we're gonna come back to center, curl your toes, tuck the chin into your chest to come into your down dog. You can walk your dog or just hold your down dog. 10 deep breaths. Good, keep stretching out nice and deep into the heels, pressing down into the earth. 5 more deep breaths. On your next exhalation, step your left foot forward. That right foot is gonna go out to an angle this time. Inhale, reach your arms up, palms touch. Interlace those outer 3 fingers. Take a moment to feel adjusted. This left hip is gonna shift back in line with the right hip. Tuck in that tailbone, sit into it, lengthen through the spine, breathe. And then we're coming into our warrior 3 after this. Focus on the breath, focus on the power beneath you, the connectedness above you. Good, 2 more deep breaths, and then we're moving into that warrior 3. On the next exhalation, start bringing your arms forward, shift all the weight onto that front leg. And when you're ready, extend your back leg, flex that foot, reach forward with the arms and back with the leg, like somebody's pulling you in both directions. 5 breaths. And on your exhalation, step both feet under your hips. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Open up that chest, lean back as you take a big deep breath up into the sky. Exhale, swan dive down, hands under your shoulders. Find your plank line, stepping or jumping, gaze forward. Deep breath. Exhale, lower into your cobra or up dog. Breathe into those abdominal muscles. One more deep breath here. Exhale back into your downward facing dog. We're gonna take a few more balancing poses. So we're only just gonna stay here about 2 more deep breaths. You can walk if you want, or just breathe into it. And then step your right foot forward. Try to keep the weight onto your right foot and bring your left leg up. Find your balance. Hug your left leg in and put a little buoyancy into your right leg, the leg that you're standing on. Just a little bend into that right leg. So a few more times, bend it. And you don't have to totally strengthen it or straighten it. I think it said strengthen it. Okay, so just a little more bend, 2, 1, and now we're gonna keep this left leg hugged in, but take it out to the side, to the left side. Extend your right arm out, draw that belly in. If you wanted an advanced pose right here, you could take your big toe and stretch out your leg. Hold 5 breaths. On the exhalation, we're gonna move it into a tree pose. Bring your left foot anywhere besides your knee. So it can be above your knee, below your knee, or your toes could just barely touch the ground. So get comfortable in your tree pose. Your palms could be to your heart, thumbs to your heart center. You could bring your arms up, or you could find your branches and wiggle your leaves. Your leaves are your fingers. That's my favorite one. All right, and just find something to look at that's not moving. 5 more deep breaths here. And the exhalation slowly releases, and we're gonna come to the other side. Stabilize onto your left foot. Hug your right leg in and start with little bends in that left leg. Feeling nice and grounded. Good. If you needed to, you could lean up onto a wall or have some type of balancing thing to help you. Often, I think it's just as effective to try to just find a spot on the floor or somewhere like where the wall and the floor meet, and just look at that as your point of focus so you don't have to worry about looking at a moving thing. Okay, and then we're gonna find that straight but strong leg, little slight bend in the knee. Take that right leg out to the side with your left arm out. Remember, if you wanted to challenge yourself a little bit more, you could connect onto your foot using your hand or a strap. 5 breaths. And on your exhalation, we're coming into that tree pose. Put your foot anywhere beside your knee, above or below. And then you can place your hands in prayer pose or find your branches. 5 more deep breaths. Remember, yoga is a nice metaphor for life. Not only are we in a tree pose, which obviously we're mimicking a tree, but sometimes we're put in positions that are uncomfortable, and you can just find the comfort within the uncomfort. Good, 3 more deep breaths. And on that exhalation, release your feet to the ground, wiggle it out, interlace your fingers, bring those arms up, way up high. Place your feet flat onto the ground in line with your hips. Inhale, look up, reach all the way up, and we're gonna exhale, dip to one direction as you lower down, exhaling down, inhale, come up the other way. We're gonna alternate the other way. Exhale, dip the other way. Inhale, bring it up. Stretch up. We're gonna keep alternating, going opposite way every time, moving with that breath. Take your time. When you circle down, you should be feeling a stretch in all different parts of your leg, into your back. And just keep going side to side. Good, just moving with that breath. Breathing. Going at your own pace, whatever feels good for you. About 5 more breaths. Moving with that breath. And here's your opportunity to just twist into it. Try to get deeper into your stretch as you sway side to side. Good. And take about 1 more each way. And then the next time that you're down low, we're gonna stay low in this forward fold position. Hold onto your legs, just hug in. See if you can hold onto your ankles, or if you wanted an added challenge, place the palms of your hand onto your feet, like you're stepping onto your feet. Tuck in that tailbone, hug into your legs. Breathe here. Good, 5 more deep breaths. On your exhalation, if you are stepping on your hands, go ahead and take your hands off of your feet. If you wanted to, you could have a block, or if your arms are long enough, you can place your hands onto the ground. Take your right foot, cross it over your left. So again, if you wanted to, you can hold onto that block, or you can start hugging in toward your legs. You have your right leg crossed over your left. Breathe, 5 breaths. At your own comfort, you can start walking over to your left side to really deepen that stretch. 5 more deep breaths. Keep pressing your feet onto the ground. Now, if you feel good, stay where you're at, or start walking your hands toward the other way. 5 more deep breaths. On the exhalation, bring it back to center, uncross your legs, and now we're stepping our left foot over our right foot. So those legs are crossed. Whew. Hug it in, use that block if you need to. Breathe. Now, if you want, start walking your hands over to the right side. Maybe a little bit more, 3 more breaths, and then we're gonna go other side. And on your exhalation, walk it all the way over to the other side. 5 more deep breaths. And the exhalation comes back to center. Start walking your hands toward the top of your mat slightly. Uncross your legs and walk it out. Last down dog of the day. 10 breaths here. Just make it feel good for you. Take your time. Whatever is feeling good. Go ahead and nourish your body with the breath, with the stretch. Good, 2 more deep breaths here. And on the exhalation, both knees lower onto the ground, cross your legs behind you and shift your weight back. We're gonna come onto our back. Find your block. If you have that block with you. Start by lifting up your hips and walking your arms behind you. Interlace the fingers or use your strap if it's hard for you to catch your hands behind you. And then just walk your shoulders back as much as you can behind you. Squeeze those shoulder blades behind you. We're gonna stay pressing our hips up, press your heels into the ground, extend those knees all the way out to the other end of the room. Breathe here, 5 deep breaths. And on your exhalation, release your arms from behind you and find your block. Place your block under your hip bones. Try to just adjust the block so that it's at whatever height is best matched for your position in your body. And you're just resting your tailbone onto that block. Let your arms come out. Just lengthen out with your palms facing up. And then feel your shoulders ground into the earth. Breathe here, just rest a moment. Feeling into your breath. And on your next exhalation, press your feet into the ground so that you can lift your hips up. Take that block out of the way. And we're going to slowly feel each vertebrae as it goes onto the mat, pressing down deep into the mat. Really feel each vertebrae until every single one is on the mat. Bring your knees into your chest. Gently rock side to side, massage through your spine. You could bring your chin into your chest if it feels good. We're going to take a quick spinal twist, and then we're going to take a heart opener, and then we'll come into our Savasana. So come back to neutral spine. Wrap both of your legs with your right arm, and then take your legs over to the right side with your right arm. Try to keep your left shoulder pressed onto the mat. Look over to the left. Lengthen that spine. Breathe into it. Good. One more breath here. On your exhalation, hug those knees back into your chest, wrapping your legs with your left arm. Take both legs over to the left side. Your right arm is going to extend out. Right shoulder presses onto the mat. Look to the right. Legs are to the left. Breathe here. On the exhalation, bring your knees back into your chest. Take your hands behind your legs, rock yourself up. Find that block again. We're going to take the block behind our shoulder blades. And then start laying back down onto your mat. Adjust that block. Remember, there's different heights to it. And I want you to try to adjust it so that your head can still touch the ground, but your chest is open. Your hips are onto the ground. Your shoulders probably can't touch the ground. Just straighten out your arms as best you can. Open up through the palms of your hands. Breathe here, just opening up into your heart body. If you need to adjust that block, take a few moments, and then we have 5 more deep breaths. If you feel super comfortable where you're at, you can stay here or just start getting ready for your Savasana. You can take the block out of the way if it's uncomfortable. Start letting your body lengthen onto the mat. Feel your shoulders ground down onto the earth below you. Let your spine lengthen, let those hips get nice and grounded. Your arms can be out to the side, or you could place your right hand onto your stomach to feel your breath and your left hand onto your heart. If you wanted to take a gentle hip opener, you could place the soles of your feet together. So get comfortable in your Savasana position. We're just going to rest our body, rest our mind, rejuvenate for about 16 breaths. Just relax. Start bringing your awareness back to the space around you. Make small movements, wiggling the fingers, toes, blinking your eyes. When you're ready, bring your knees into your chest. If you had that block there, take it out of the way, gently rocking side to side. And place your hands behind your legs, rock yourself up into a seated position. Make any little movements that feel good, get little kinks out of the way. And then when you're ready, on your next inhalation, inhale your arms all the way up, palms touch at the top. Exhale, bring it into your heart center. We're gonna go 2 more times up and around. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bring it into your heart center. Last one, inhale all of the goodness of life and bring it into your heart center. Namaste.